So hashtags like child-free by choice and not having kids have gotten popular on the TikTok over the past year. It's mainly women making videos explaining their reasoning for not having children. So do you think this helps combat this stigma around being child-free by choice? What do you guys think?
Yes, absolutely. I love this so much, especially as someone who is child-free by choice. It does feel like it's a decision that you have to defend all of the time. And, you would not believe the stuff that people say to me sometimes, like you'll change your mind, or God wants you to have kids, or just the why, that you have to explain and explain. And it's like the default is you have kids. And if you don't, there's a lot of shame and stigma. So the more people, the more women who stand up and say, no, every choice is valid. I'm allowed to make this choice. And, I have the freedom to do that. And that should be celebrated just as much as celebrating women who do have kids, because both are great pathways. And so I think it's great that people are just out there being proud about it.
No, you go.
Exactly.
I'm a supporter. I'm an ally.
You're an ally.
I'm an ally. I do have two children. I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Adorable.
So great. But I've written about this a lot, about the overly effusive attention that mothers get in our world and on social media. The Instagram algorithm loves mothers. They love pregnant bellies. And too many of the stories that have always been told, and we have a mutual friend who wrote a book about this that Christine edited, have ended with marriage and babies for women. I mean, almost every sitcom ever ends with marriage and babies. Everyone on Friends got married and had a baby at the end of it. And now that we're finally seeing narratives of another way for a woman to live in the world, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's so refreshing.
And I think younger women need to see that too, right? That's not the only way to be. So if you're 20 and seeing these TikTok videos, then you feel like you have more options out there. That it's not just this is the expected path that women are supposed to take and do this or else, right? And so if you see other women doing it and feeling good about it, then, it opens a world to you.
I have to say, Christine and Joe, you're making me sort of entirely rethink this topic, because I'm child-free by choice as well, oh my God. But it's not like my partner and I are sitting around the dining room table every night, high-fiving, being like, child-free by choice. We don't really celebrate it, and here's why. Because I'm not too sure I've entirely felt the stigma of it. As you were saying, Christine, I can't remember the last time where I felt sort of confronted with someone saying that, you're gonna regret it. And the few occasions where someone has sort of suggested, you should have kids, it's gonna change your life, I'm always just flattered that they think I'm that young. You know what I mean? But guys.
That is another thing. I wonder how long I could stay child-free by choice, that it's just child-free by default. I don't even know.
No, I think I agree with you, Jess. I think 15 years ago, I'm also child-free by choice. And 15 years ago, I did get those questions like, you're going to change your mind, or why won't you change your mind, or whatever. I agree with everything that's been said. I certainly understand that it's so irritating that in stories that we tell, women only have one choice and one path. I just don't know that it has to be a movement. I just don't know that I don't know that we have to be out there crusading on there are other movements and this is a movement. And the reason why is because people who are child-free by choice are pretty happy. It's a momentary, for me, in my experience, it's a momentary irritation when some idiot is like, you're gonna change your mind. And the moment passes, and then I'm back to my awesome child-free life. I'm not being held back from opportunities that require a movement for me to go out on social media with these hashtags. I'm not being denied entry into rooms because of this choice.
That's an excellent point.
Right? And so where I do want to apply more sensitivity, though, are people who are child-free not by choice. Right. I think that is a real pain and a real trauma. And I know people who have been through that situation, are going through that situation. And those questions aren't a momentary irritation. When somebody says, why don't you have kids? They don't get to go home and high-five somebody and be like, child-free by choice. They go home realizing that there's a real loss in their life. And so I think that if there's a movement that we need to have, I prefer that the movement and the placards and the hashtags be on their behalf rather than on behalf of someone like me, because again, I'm okay. You know what I mean?
Good.
But I think all women should celebrate all our choices, because I do think it's amazing when people come forward and talk about their miscarriages or their struggles having babies, right? There's like strength in community.
Yeah.
So that's great. I think we all need to
want
shout
space
all
for
of our
them.
choices
All of our
as
things.
valid.
Space, I like that.